What's up, everybody, and welcome back. It is Monday, June 1st, so happy 1st of June, and the market wasted absolutely no time to make history to kick things off. So let's get into it. Here's where we closed today. The S&P closed up about 1/3%, crossing over 7,600 for the first time ever. New all-time highs to start the month. Why not? The NASDAQ closed up about 0.5%, and the Dow nudged up about 46 points. But here's the interesting part. 9 of the 11 S&P sectors finished in the red today. So when I say that the market was up, only 2 sectors carried that weight, mainly tech, going in and out of software and semiconductors, and then, of course, energy. The other 9, they were dragging, and, we should keep that in mind because that might matter going into the rest of the week. Now, the biggest story is definitely Nvidia. Probably one of the biggest stories of the year, if I'm being honest. Nvidia has officially entered the chip market. Jensen Huang took the stage at Computex in Taiwan and unveiled the RTX Spark, which is Nvidia's first processor for Windows laptops. It's built with MediaTek, it runs on Windows for ARM, and it's coming this fall in laptops from Microsoft, Dell, HP, Asus, Lenovo, and MSI. So we're talking about laptops as thin as 14 millimeters, so very small laptops, very condensed, and they're packing in this chip. It's going to be pretty exciting. I can't wait to get my hand on one of those. So why does this matter so much? It's because Nvidia has been an absolute money printer on data center GPU chips, but that's a market with limited exposure. When it comes to personal computers, there are hundreds of millions of these sold every single year. So this is Nvidia going head to head with Intel and AMD on essentially their home turf. Nvidia jumped 6% off of this. Dell got a nice bump up 10%, and Dell has been a monster all year long, up 270%, and somehow just keeps on going. HP also up 8%. Oh, and Jensen also announced the Vera CPU for data centers is now in full production with customers including big names like OpenAI, Anthropic, xAI, Oracle, CoreWeave. I mean, this guy's just absolutely everywhere. Now, on to energy in Iran. That's where one of the main sectors was green today. ExxonMobil was up nearly 3%, Chevron up 1.8%, COP up 1%, almost 1.5%. You get the idea. So why were these guys up? Well, because the Iran situation is simply not getting any better. Are we surprised yet? And quick context here, if you live under Iraq, which I hope you don't, and you are aware of what's going on in the world. The U.S.-Iran conflict started back in February, and this has been the ultimate wild card for the market. The Strait of Hormuz, which moves about 20% of the world's oil supply, continues to be disrupted. Oil prices are up 50% since this whole thing started. Gas prices are up over $1 a gallon nationwide. Today, we got fresh clashes in the Middle East, so oil popped up on that news, which is great for energy stocks, but a headache for practically everything else. Higher oil means higher inflation and higher cost of goods and services across the globe, and it means that the Fed has to stay tighter for longer. This is the big tension in the market right now. AI stocks are flying. Software is getting a huge bump right now. Semiconductors are moving, but the macro picture underneath everything is still a little bit murky and, showing signs of cracking, but the market is still ultimately bullish. Here are the main things that I'm watching for the week. We got Broadcom earnings on Wednesday. This is arguably the most important earnings report of the week. Broadcom has been one of the strongest performers in the whole market this year, so expecting another leg up in semiconductors if they report a solid earnings. On Friday, I am looking at the jobs report, the non-farm payroll. This one could move everything, and the Fed is definitely going to be watching it. And yeah, you should be too. So keep an eye on that RSI. The S&P is sitting at 73, which is in overbought territory. That doesn't necessarily mean we crash, of course, but it does suggest that we are stretched. Overbought is just a condition. We could absolutely continue to move higher, especially with semiconductors and software pushing us on up. So just to recap, Nvidia just went from data centers to your laptop, and the market has hit new all-time highs, even though today it was only two of the main sectors carrying doing the whole heavy lifting, and the Iran situation keeps oil elevated and a little bit murky as far as keeping rate cut hopes kind of down. So if you're looking for rate cuts, yeah, might not get it. We got the FOMC meeting in June, so be on the lookout for that. Now, as far as possible moves for tomorrow, the SPY here, we had a little bit of murkiness to start out. It was relatively weak to get going, but once we did make a move towards 760. Now, the key issue here is that we built up volume all over the place today. So when it comes to tomorrow, we got a wide range of value here. So if I'm looking for upside, I'm going to want to see 760 hold, and we can push into clear blue skies. But because we have such a wide value area, I'm leaning tomorrow might be a little bit more on the choppy side. And that is going to be the case here with the QQQ as well. We have volume distributed all throughout the session. We did close right on value area high, but as you can see here on the volume profile, things are still built up on the upper end. So I'm going to be looking for a push and hold over 745.66, and then we can start talking about a move to the upside, perhaps to 747, 748, etc. But again, we have this wide value area between 742.69 and 735.99. That's a very wide area to cover, and we could possibly see rotation throughout tomorrow. So be prepared for possibly some chop. Of course, if we're looking for upside, we'll see what futures are doing overnight, but this is where I sit as the cash market has closed. 745.66 for another leg higher on the QQQ, and 760 for another leg higher on the SPY. All right, so if you want the daily breakdown like this every single day, definitely hit that subscribe, drop a comment, let me know if you're buying Nvidia at these levels or if you're waiting for a little bit of a pullback, and I will see you tomorrow.